terms of like gambling and normalizing, like I think about even just my interactions with friends who are gamblers, and the kōrero and the nature of it, it's so humorous. It's sort of like playing it down rather than thinking about the significant effects that it's having on themselves but also their whānau. It's more so just dulling it down by using humour. And then we sort of like think about upbringings, we think about playing cards at the table, we think about going to the marae and, you know, all of the things that are occurring within our upbringing. And then we get to this sort of taumata now, and even just me being at this wānanga, just learning so much more about, I guess, the harmful aspects of this ngārara. And one of the biggest things that I feel I'm grappling with at the moment is it's invisible, but it's so obvious at the same time. And so these kinds of conversations is just helping to debunk it, but the normalization of it is part of it. But now we need to normalize the harmful aspect of it. You know, there's the normalization of the habit, but now let's normalize the aspect of how harmful it is for our whānau.
On our marae, you know, in Rātaki, we've seen balance up. You know, our kuia used to play cards. You know, what were some of your experiences? Like, we know, we're thinking that it's not part of our culture, but it seems like it has been sort of somehow normalised into the fabric of our culture. We even see it at Rātaki, where we are, you know, the balance up and stuff. And how whakaro tērā?
Horse racing and fundraising activities on the marae, housing and balance up and raffles and activities like that were really popular amongst our people to refurbish our marae and, you know, fundraise for kaupapa. And so we've really adopted those practices as a way to socialise and as a way to entertain. However, with the introduction of pokie machines that are designed to be addictive and they're placed in communities with high deprivation, the game has changed.
You know, I think the same thing. Like, you know, growing up, I grew up with my nan and koro, and like, you know, one of our jobs is to take koro, drive koro, you know, 40 minutes to the TAB in town, and you know, and that was his thing. Same with nan, you know, housing fee. And so growing up, it was always, you know, part of our whare, it was always part of our everyday lifestyles, because, you know, that's just the way it was, and we had normalised it so much, you know, that it was actually, you know, about everyone getting in the car and going to housey and, you know, cup of tea, biscuits, and seeing all the other nannies and koros there. At one point there, you know, for us growing up, that was just the norm. But when I think about it now, you know, there were other aspects of, you know, other whanaunga that I know where they were taking it to the next level. So going from just housey at the marae on Friday to housey at the marae on Friday, pub on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and once they're in that, you know, isolated space, once they're isolated, and you just see their smiles and their faces just light up once they see those machines and the lights that are flickering, you know, and that's when you realise, oh, hika ma, you know, Auntie hasn't even been home for the last couple of hours, and like, school's finished. School finished ages ago. She was meant to pick up the kids, and Auntie's still sucked in by the lights. Or, you know, still reeling at these lights in this machine, waiting for the jackpot. And so for us, we realised quite early on as kids that it was, you know, something that we didn't want to be a part of. And so we recognised that that was just a thing that Nani Koro did to de-stress or to have some them time. So for us, it was about recognising that we didn't want to follow down that pathway. So we were quite fortunate and lucky in that sense. But I feel for a lot of our other whānau that I saw that were in the same waka, that weren't so fortunate and weren't so lucky to, you know, to have that whakaaro, to think or
choose an alternative.
Yeah, choose an alternative or see an alternative pathway. You know, Auntie's, you know where she is, and you know the kids at home by themselves, or you know, our big cousins are watching them, but yet we still keep silent because we think it's just Auntie's just doing what Auntie's always done, and that's where I think the narrative needs to change.
Yeah, and you know, the challenge for our whānau is, just because it's normal, does that make it right? You know, so we need to be critically reflecting on our own participation, but also the participation of our whānau and the examples that we're setting up for our future generations. You know, just because it's normal, does it make it okay? You know, and how do we curb that? How do we change the conversation where we're more open to and more comfortable to talk about the harm?
What type of shoulders are we leaving for our mokopuna to stand on? E kaupapa ntui tērā, e te iwi. But I think one thing that could really help that, like we're saying, yes, that gambling has become quite normalised, but the conversations around gambling harm is still not normalised. And that's what we need to work on. I suppose that's what the scope was about, is about really showing that we can talk about it. Here's a space where it's been spoken about. You know, by interacting and watching these corridors, in a sense, you're interacting with the corridor and you are speaking about it. Those are all steps. And there's nothing wrong with speaking about it. Speak about it.